Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most haunting and psychologically complex stories in gaming history, the ending of Silent Hill 2. This isn't just a horror game. It's a profound journey into guilt, grief, and the desperate search for redemption. So let's turn down the lights and explore the foggy, symbolic streets of Silent Hill together. The entire game is a carefully constructed manifestation of one man's tormented psyche. We follow James Sunderland, who receives a letter from his wife Mary, asking him to meet her in their special place in Silent Hill. The twist? Mary has been dead for 3 years. This letter is the catalyst, pulling James into a town that isn't just haunted by monsters, but by his own repressed memories and profound sense of guilt. Every creature James encounters, from the unsettling nurses to the iconic Pyramid Head, is a reflection of his inner turmoil. Pyramid Head, in particular, acts as a punisher, a physical embodiment of James' desire for judgment for a crime he can't even admit to himself. The town forces him to confront his deepest fears and desires, peeling back the layers of denial he has built around himself. The climax of the game is a devastating revelation. After facing 2 Pyramid Heads who ultimately impale themselves, James finally confronts the full, unvarnished truth. Through a distorted videotape, we witness the final moments of Mary's life. We learn that James, overwhelmed by the burden of her illness and a complex mix of love, resentment, and despair, ended her life by suffocating her with a pillow. The letter wasn't from Mary. It was a delusion, a call from his own subconscious to face what he had done. This leads us to the Leave ending, often considered the canonical one by fans. After defeating a final boss that symbolizes his idealized memory of Mary, James has a final heart-wrenching conversation with her spirit. He confesses his actions, his loneliness, and his pain. Mary, in an act of incredible grace, forgives him. She gives him her letter, urging him to move on and live his life. As James leaves Silent Hill, we see him driving away with Lavra, the young girl he befriended, symbolizing a step towards a new beginning, a future free from the fog of his past. Silent Hill 2's ending is a masterpiece of storytelling. It doesn't offer easy answers, but instead provides a powerful, ambiguous conclusion about the human capacity for forgiveness, both from others and, more importantly, from ourselves. It's a reminder that even in our darkest moments, there is a path toward the light. What if the town you fear the most is actually just a mirror reflecting your deepest, darkest secrets? If you thought Return to Silent Hill was just another basic monster movie, you completely missed the terrifying psychological puzzle hidden right in front of your eyes. Today, we are breaking down the twisted ending, the real meaning behind the monsters, and the hidden details that only true fans of the original lore managed to catch. Make sure you stick around until the very end, because the truth about what actually happened to Mary changes the entire meaning of this movie, and missing it means missing the point of the entire story. The story drops us immediately into a beautifully unsettling atmosphere with our protagonist, James Sunderland. Right from the opening frame, the movie establishes that James is a fundamentally broken man. He is pulled back to the eerie, ash-falling, fog-drenched streets of Silent Hill by an impossible catalyst. He receives a letter from his wife, Mary, telling him to meet her in their special place. The only horrifying problem with this is that Mary died years ago from a tragic, prolonged illness. This impossible scenario sets the foundation for everything that follows, and it immediately tells the audience that we are not dealing with a reliable reality. The movie does an incredible job of making the town of Silent Hill feel like a living, breathing entity that reacts to James's presence. If you look closely at the wide shots as James enters the town limits, the thick, suffocating fog you see isn't just a weather effect or a cheap cinematic trick to hide bad CGI. In the context of the lore, it is a visual representation of James's own clouded mind. He is quite literally wandering through his own denial, grief, and profound confusion as he navigates through the deserted, rotting streets. The director sprinkles in incredible, subtle details that many casual viewers completely overlooked. You might have noticed the strange, almost unnatural camera angles used in these early scenes. The camera often sits high up in the corners of rooms or peers out from behind rusted fences, making it feel like James is constantly being watched by an unseen, malevolent force. This isn't just a random stylistic choice. It is a brilliant, direct nod to the fixed camera angles of the original survival horror games, perfectly translating that inescapable feeling of claustrophobia and paranoia to the big screen. As James searches for his special place, the movie transitions seamlessly from a physical journey to a terrifying psychological descent. The town is systematically isolating him, cutting him off from the real world and stripping away his defenses. Every abandoned car, every boarded-up storefront, and every distorted noise in the distance is designed to prepare him to face what he has been running from. He thinks he is looking for a ghost, but what he is about to find is a nightmare born entirely from his own subconscious. The movie drops subtle hints about his fractured psyche early on. Pay attention to the mirrors. Whenever James looks into a dirty, cracked mirror in those opening scenes, the camera lingers, just a fraction of a second too long, suggesting a deep, uncomfortable disconnect between the man he thinks he is and the man he actually is. He is avoiding his own reflection, just like he is avoiding the truth of his past. The deeper he walks into the fog, the more reality begins to fracture. The physical laws of the world start to bend, leading him toward the terrifying realization that Silent Hill does not just trap its victims. It judges them. And James is about to step right into the courtroom of his own mind, where his darkest secrets are waiting to tear him apart. The Lakeview Hotel was supposed to be their special place, a sanctuary of memories. But now it was just another decaying monument in this town of personal nightmares. For James, the journey through its rotting corridors was a descent into the final, darkest corners of his own mind. He was looking for Mary, or an answer, or maybe just an end to the torment. Then he found it. Not Mary, but a room. Their room. It was almost exactly as he remembered, yet twisted by time and neglect. And there, on a small table, sat a single, unlabeled videotape. His hands trembled as he picked it up. This was it. The truth he'd been chasing, or maybe running from. Every instinct screamed at him not to watch it, to leave it, to let the lie live on. But he couldn't. He had to know. With a heavy, resigned breath, he walked to the VHS tape inserting and playing. The machine whirred to life, a relic from a forgotten time. James took a step back, his heart pounding in his chest like a drum counting down to ruin. Slow, heavy heartbeat. The screen flickered, and a wave of static washed over the image before it settled. Static and a faint, distorted hospital beep. It wasn't their vacation video. The room was sterile, white, and suffocating. A hospital room, and there was Mary lying in bed. She looked so tired, so thin, a ghost of the woman he loved. She was sleeping, her breath shallow. The camera was unsteady, held by someone standing over her. And then, the camera panned down to the hands holding it. His hands. The James on the screen reached out, his hands hovering over Mary's sleeping face. He was whispering something, words lost to the static, a desperate, broken plea, and then he took a pillow. He pressed it down, gently at first, then with a final heartbreaking resolve. Mary didn't struggle. It was over in a moment that stretched into an eternity. A single sharp gasp from James. The James in the hotel room stumbled back, his legs giving out. He fell against the wall, sliding to the floor. The scream was trapped in his throat, a silent, agonizing sound. It all came flooding back. The sickness, the anger, the exhaustion, the love that had curdled into a desperate mercy. He hadn't come to Silent Hill to find Mary. He had come here to be punished. This town, it hadn't called him. He had called it. As the tape clicked off, the room fell into a suffocating silence. He was broken, a man hollowed out by a truth he could no longer deny. But then, on the bed where Mary should have been, he saw it. An envelope. His name was written on the front in her familiar, elegant script. Soft paper unfolding, with shaking fingers he opened it. It was a letter. Her final letter. He began to read, her voice echoing in his mind, a gentle whisper from beyond the grave. In my restless dreams, I see that town. Silent Hill. You promised you'd take me there again someday. But you never did. Well, I'm alone there now. In our special place, waiting for you. I know I was a burden, James. I know you hated me sometimes. You have to live for yourself now. Do what's best for you, James. You made me happy. Tears streamed down his face, not of guilt this time, but of a profound, soul-shattering grief and a flicker of absolution. She knew, she understood, and she forgave him. When he finally emerged from the hotel, the oppressive fog had begun to thin. The air was still heavy, but a pale, weak light was breaking through. And waiting for him was Laura, the little girl who had known Mary in the hospital. She looked at him, not with accusation, but with a simple, childlike patience. He had a choice to make. Without a word, he started walking, and she fell into step beside him. They walked away from the lake, away from the hotel, toward a path leading out of the town, their figures slowly shrinking into the distance. Footsteps on gravel fading slowly. The fog was lifting, but the future was still uncertain. Whether this was an escape, a new beginning, or simply another dream, no one could say. But for the first time since he arrived, James Sunderland was not walking alone. He was walking toward a sliver of dawn, carrying not just his guilt, but Mary's forgiveness, into whatever lay beyond the silence. Thank you for watching. If you found yourself moved by James's story, consider subscribing for more deep dives into the narratives that shape our favorite games.